lying to you this whole time. See, and folks like us, we wait.
Babylon, your throne gone down, gone down. Babylon, your throne gone down. Fly away home to Zion, fly away home. I say fly away home to Zion, away home. One bright morning, when my work is over, I will fly away home. One bright morning, when my work is over, I will fly away home. Bright morning, when my work is over, I will fly away home. One bright morning, when my work is over, I will fly away home. Rastafari. Good evening, fellow Nigerians. Good evening, Africans. Good evening, America. Good evening, the people of the world. It's 8:03 Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas, United States of America. This is Muhammadu Buhari, the CEO of ONN and the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, announcing the death of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria in a London hospital. Today we're going to be examining his life, his public life and times as a one-time military head of state and a two-term civilian head of state of Nigeria. And prior to all these times, he has been in the story of Nigeria since independence. He was allegedly born in 1942, but there is a huge controversy about his age. All right? And his education, schools attended, just as we have with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Muhammadu Buhari was a one-time federal minister of petroleum. And during that time, there was a controversy of $1.4 million missing that was never accounted for till this date. But we are told that Muhammadu Buhari had so much integrity. A lot of controversies trail Muhammadu Buhari. His war against drug trafficking was so controversial. A decree was promulgated. He backdated that decree to kill alleged drug traffickers who committed their drug crimes and were serving terms. He backdated that decree to kill them. He came with this messianic patriotism that never was. And now, I'm not celebrating his death. I am a human being. We have this large thing that we should not speak ill of the dead. But I disagree that we should not speak ill of those who hurt us and who think that it is their right to continue to hurt us. Yes, Muhammadu Buhari was in the counter coup that killed Aguiyi Ironsi for an alleged coup that was carried out by Igbos. Yeah, but a coup that took place, the very first coup in Nigeria that took place by Nigerian soldiers. The Igbos were not, it was not an Igbo army, it was Nigerian army. Some soldiers who were disgruntled were not happy with what was going on in their country. Decided to stand up to arrest the slide of their country into anarchy. They turned around and called it an Igbo coup. And interestingly, there were Fulani soldiers who were part of that coup. There were Hausa soldiers. There were thief soldiers. There were soldiers from the Middle Belt, a lot of them. There were soldiers, some who were Igbos, but they singled out that one race in Nigeria to punish. Buhari was one of those. He was about number 4 in the counter coup that killed Aguiyi Ironsi, who came and tried his best to unify the country in a very difficult circumstance. The Nigerian media has never been good. They twisted it. Those who control the narrative of Nigeria from one section of the country, they twisted it and called it an Igbo coup. They relied on that anger to descend on the Igbo people. When it was over, between 1967 and 1970, over 5 million Igbos were massacred. And Buhari was in the theater of war. Murtala Mohammed, with whom they concocted that, was in the theater of war. Danjuma, who has repented, who saw the light, was in the theater of war. Olusegun Obasanjo was in the theater of war. Now look at these two people that I have just called. They are from two groups, the elites of 2 groups in Nigeria. Misled the people of Nigeria to jump on fellow Nigerians. Massacred 5 million of them. So whoever likes, you cannot paint a story You cannot change the nose of a dog. You can't change the nose of a dog to make it white. The nose of a dog will constantly be black. All right? But I'm going to take time to tell you everything that I know about Muhammadu Buhari. He was not a good man. He was not a statesman. Now, he went into the army, created that coup, they slaughtered the Agui Ironsi and threw him in the bush like an animal. Because some Igbos, according to them, allegedly killed their Sardana or Sokoto, a man, the grandson of Osmadan Fodio, violent Osmadan Fodio, who invaded Hausa land in 1804, subjugated the Hausa people, killed everything that was killable, their kings, destroyed them, their lands, they took them, their women, they raped them. They forced a different brand of Islam, different from what the Hausas knew. They forced it on them. Used the Hausas as tools to arrest the growth and development of Nigeria. They will always come, including Buhari, in the name of the North. But 90% of the poverty that has made Nigeria the capital of poverty in the world comes from that north of Nigeria. As we speak, over 30 million children, innocent children, in the north of Nigeria are out of school. They are begging from AM to PM. They go for days, even weeks and months, without taking showers. In their country, in their very rich country, Nigeria is a very rich country. Nigeria is not a poor country. Nigeria does not need aid from anybody. Nigeria can actually take care of half of the world with the enormous mineral and natural resources in there. This group of people from where Buhari comes out in Nigeria are responsible for the stagnation of Nigeria. They say they are the owners of Nigeria with so much pride. And I don't know how he was able to bow. Now, this should serve as a warning to others like him who think nepotistically, who do not believe that Nigeria belongs to all of us, and so should share with fellow Nigerians the promise of Nigeria. A day will come when you become helpless. A day will come when you cannot lift a cup of water and put it in your mouth. That day came for Buhari, and that day is today. We hear that he sent his wife to apologize on his behalf to the people of Nigeria. I was asking someone who said something like that, based on what I read from what his wife said. I was asking, he had all the time to do right. He was a military head of state for 3 years. And then he came back as a civilian head of state, served 2 terms. How many people will have that amount of luck? Let me call it, if it's luck, that opportunity to make things right. No, he got worse with every opportunity he had to make Nigeria a better place. Yes. Now back to the story of Buhari. Now in the army, the worst, what they call war that I know and majority of Nigerians know and now are knowing as a genocide lasted for 3 years. Wanton destruction of lives and property. Yes, he was in the theater. Not much was recorded about his atrocities, but a lot was recorded about the atrocity committed by Murtala Muhammad, who came to my part of Nigeria and took pleasure every 4 days to wipe out the males in my place. He was bringing them out, every male should be finished. The same thing Adekunle Black Scorpion did. Everything flying needs to die. They did that. He rose to become the Secretary of the Army, even without a certificate. He rose to become Chief of Army Staff. And then he rose to overthrow a civilian president, Shehu Shagari, in 1983, December 31st, 1983. He became military head of state. Brought all kinds of draconian laws. He was flogging Nigerians, yeah. He unleashed the soldiers. They'll be flogging Nigeria. They say it was war against indiscipline. Nigerians were subjects of wanton abuse for the period of time that he was a military head of state. His dictatorship knew no boundary. I tell you, Nigerians were being flogged. Nigerians were being manhandled by soldiers. Nigerians could no longer open their mouth to speak the same way they could not speak to air their grievances when he became civilian president. This man tortured Nigerians. Corruption under him was second to none, but none was able to report them for fear of abuse by the soldiers. 53 suitcases belonging to the Emir of Gwandu. Yes, under Buhari. Those 53 suitcases were never opened. This was a man who was fighting against drug trafficking and foreign currency trafficking. Now, what was in those 53 suitcases belonging to the Emir of Gwandu that were never opened? Every other suitcases, this man executed so many people on account of drug trafficking to underscore his nepotistic nature. The Emir of Gwandu brought 52 suitcases of what? Drugs or what was inside? Buhari is not here anymore. He never answered that question, and nobody ever answered it. The man who attempted to answer it was fired from service. The Emir of Gwandu suitcases, 53 of them, remains a huge question mark on Buhari's fight against corruption. He was a very corrupt man. He was a very nepotistic man. Everything about him was about the Fulanis. Everything about him was about the Fulanis. He was not a nationalist. He didn't believe in Nigeria. He hated Nigeria. His father was from Nigeria. You know what Buhari did? At the time he was head of state, Nigeria was vying for the position of the Secretary General of the Organization for African Unity. And Niger, the country of his father, presented a candidate. The candidate for Nigeria was Dr. On ONN. Buhari was head of state of Nigeria. To underscore the Fulani nepotism, General Buhari voted against Nigeria. General Buhari voted against Nigeria. He voted for the Nigerian candidate. He voted for the one that came from the country of his father. How did General Buhari become a soldier in Nigerian army? Nigeria fed him. Nigeria sent him to school. He's not a Nigerian. He became head of state. He rose to the highest level in the Nigerian armed forces. Yes. He voted against the interest of Nigeria. Does that demonstrate a man who loves his country? Does that demonstrate a man who truly, genuinely loves Nigeria? Will an American citizen who was born here go and vote against America's strategic interest in an election of that magnitude, where America is presenting a candidate? Will a child with a Mexican parentage go and vote for a secretary from Mexico against the candidate America presented? I don't see that happening. But Buhari did it. He did it. That was treasonous. But Nigerians, as always, we sweep it aside. God is merciful. God is forgiving. Let us forgive him. He came with this fake messianic patriotism. Buhari was never patriotic. So he overthrew a democratically elected government, calling them all sorts of names. Yes, that government was imperfect, but he came and did worse. He destroyed the economy. He destroyed everything. He turned the people into robots. The people of Nigeria were so scared of expressing themselves. Yes. His fight against corruption failed flat. His fight against drug trafficking failed woefully because he lacked the moral platform to stand on, especially with what he did, with not searching these 53 suitcases belonging to the Emir of Gwandu. Yes. So if you are angry, you are this angry Nigerian who don't like the truth because of where you come from or because of the God you serve, we are not afraid of bringing it to you. Buhari may be hero to some people, but he brought hell to majority of Nigerians. He lacked integrity. The integrity he had was media integrity. The media awarded him that integrity that he did not have. The story of Nigeria and its ever corrupt media. So, in 1986, they take turns. August 1986, after 3 years of wasting the time of Nigeria as military head of state, flogging everybody, beating up everybody, pronouncing some ridiculous jail terms for some people. Another one came, Badamosi Babangida, the one that called himself Evil Juniors, came, overthrew him, citing high-handedness. Yes. But that one opened the floodgate for fraud in Nigeria. He built the foundation of fraudulent activities in Nigeria. And they all have ties. They take turns. You want to know something? 10 out of 13 of those who have led Nigeria are either directly or remotely connected to this Fulani madness in Nigeria that must come to an end today. They don't do any good for the people of Nigeria. Their mission is to build their Fulani nation. Their mission is to destroy the country. Their mission is to divide the country. Buhari was, like others like him, very divisive. He was not a unifier. He polarized the country. This was a man who called the southeast of Nigeria a dot in a circle because that part of Nigeria is populated by the Igbos. He called them a dot in a circle with no exit route, which means if there's another opportunity for them to invade and kill the people there, they will do the same thing that they did between 1967 and 1970. Which country, which president of any country will refer to any part of his national constituency a dot in a circle and still sit down on the presidency of that country? Buhari did it. Just like Muhammadu Bello, he reinforced the statement of Muhammadu Bello at independence, singling out the Igbos for hate. So he's a student of Muhammadu Bello. That was why he failed in all his efforts to lead Nigeria. Total failure. He was. He's begging for Nigerians to forgive him. Nigerians cannot forgive him. What about the millions of Nigerians that were massacred because of him? What of the millions of Nigerians that are currently displaced in the northeast, in the north central, and everywhere in Nigeria? What about those who could have been saved but were not saved because of his inaction? What about his disastrous fight against terrorism in Nigeria, a terrorism that he was part of? He was the grand commander of Boko Haram. They said it when they called for truce. He was the one appointed to negotiate on their behalf. If he didn't have anything to do with them, they won't appoint him. Why didn't they appoint me to negotiate on their behalf? He was in it with France. He was in it with Bazoum, the ousted president of Niger. They knew what they were doing. The economics of the Chad Basin was what it was for them in their dark plan to build their Fulani nation. He was the same man that was ridiculously given a peace medal by the Islamic Republic. I didn't know now that they have changed it. Islamic Republic of Mauritania. We have never heard it before. When the whole world was condemning Buhari for his disastrous handling of the fight against terrorism in Nigeria, Mauritania was giving him a peace medal. Wasn't that ridiculous? Yes. General Muhammadu Buhari, you have a lot to answer to in the presence of the Almighty. Yes. This is not personal. I'm speaking the minds of millions of Nigerians. Yes. I'm speaking the minds of millions of Nigerians who are hurting, who have lost their family members. Millions who have been disabled and displaced. Millions who are still hurting. Thousands who are dying. The thousands that have died in Benue, in Plateau, in Katsina, where you come from, in Zamfara, in Kebbi, in Sokoto, and everywhere. You had great opportunities. You had great opportunities to create a pathway for the Hausa people, for the majority of the people in the north who live below poverty line. You had a great opportunity to create a pathway out of poverty for them. But you did a direct opposite of them. You were so nepotistic. You brought nepotism, you raised the standard of nepotism to the highest in Nigeria. Muhammadu Buhari. Yes. Is that the man they want us to celebrate because he died? Anybody can die. I don't know what was going through his mind in his final moment for all the things that he failed to do, that he would have put his name in gold. And this is a warning to all those holding Nigeria hostage, thinking is their right to do so, thinking is their tribal right. Oh, because I'm Fulani. This is our country. We must hold the rest of the country hostage. Oh, and because I'm Yoruba, it's our turn. Emilokon, our lokan. We must deal with this country. Check it out. A day of reckoning will come for you. One day, after all this we do on earth, one day will come when you will not be able to lift this finger. When you will not be able to utter these words. How would you be remembered? How do you wish to be remembered? Remember, honestly, how do you want the rest to remember you? I know how I can remember Muhammadu Buhari, and I can imagine how many millions of Nigerians can remember him for the type of leadership he provided or otherwise. Buhari ran 4 times to become president of Nigeria. 4 times. And during those times, there was a time he was appointed the manager of the Petroleum Trust Fund. What did he do? Where are the infrastructural developments? What happened to the Niger Delta where I come from? The people whose soil lay the golden egg upon which Nigeria feeds fat, but whose people drink their urine and eat their feces. Regardless of the fact that the oil that is the mainstay of Nigeria's economy is tapped from them, from their soil. Go there and see the level of environmental degradation. But what did we see? We have seen many billionaires who are Fulanis off of Nigeria's crude oil. Me, who come from there, I'm not interested in oil because I'm an environmentalist. If I am given the opportunity, the way I think, looking at how the oil in Nigeria has been mismanaged, I will ask all the oil companies in Nigeria to leave Nigeria. And we don't have anything to do with oil anymore. We have to channel another way of building the Nigerian economy. Looking at the anger, looking at the environmental degradation, looking at the loss of source of survival for the people in the Niger Delta. Over 20 million of them have no source, but some Fulanis, no thanks to the nepotistic tendency of Buhari and his likes, are millionaires. They own private jets off of the oil resources that they don't have where they come from. Okay, now they discovered gold in Zamfara. They discovered gold in Kebbi. What did they do? They created wars there so that Nigeria as an entity will not have access to managing that. But the Nigerian oil, the oil from the Niger Delta of Nigeria, they formed an oil company around it, NNPC around it, to manage the oil resources. But today we don't have the ministry or whatever, a company behind the gold that was discovered in Zamfara that will be taking charge of it for the benefit of the whole of Nigeria. No thanks to people like Buhari. Yes, they own oil wells. Why you and I from that part of Nigeria, we eat and drink our shit. And when there are elections like they are brewing another election now, we can think. Then we have idiots like Asari Dokubo. We have idiots like Tompolo. Street boys that they will give change and they think they have made it. Then now those ones become the face of our Niger Delta. They become the face of what the one is area they call south of Nigeria. So when Asari has his own little thing and Tompolo has, then we are all okay. This is the reason why we must rethink Nigeria. And this is the reason why I'm at the forefront of driving for an open Nigeria. If Nigeria is not open, these people, Fulani elites like Buhari, will continue to dominate our place. Even though they are minorities, they are a minority, they come from a minority tribe in Nigeria. How they are able to overpower all of us is something that needs to be studied by researchers. Yes. I can't celebrate Muhammadu Buhari. He was a very wicked man. He was a vicious man, very hateful, unforgiving, savage, divisive, and nepotistic, and crassly incompetent. Prior to becoming head of state for the second time, president of Nigeria, what did they do? That points to his involvement with Boko Haram. They started shooting up the country to scare the whole of our people. They scared the hell out of Nigerians. Mob action. And that is what they're about to start doing. So, but Nigerians, I believe you are beginning to get wiser. So when you hear the likes of El-Rufai, you hear is threatening war. That war will consume him. The one that is brewing, he is going to consume him. The one Saad is brewing is going to consume all of them. They can't do what they did in 2015 and think that they will get away with it in a Nigeria that is becoming more conscious. They brought war because of Buhari. They went and imported terrorists, imported mercenaries, Fulani mercenaries from across West Africa. They swooped on Nigeria. They took over all of Nigeria's national forests. They took all alleys in Nigeria. Every village now stands a risk of being occupied violently. Buhari it was who made all this thing happen. We hear about Ruga. You hear about Ruga. In the 21st century, in the 21st century, of all the countries I have been to, including some African countries, you don't see cattle on their streets. You don't see cattle on their highways. Buhari wanted us, want us to continue a tradition that is so outdated. Cultures grows and change. Yes, every culture grows and changes. Why is one culture? Why is the Fulani culture static? Why do we have to pay with our blood for a culture that we don't have anything to do with? Why is it that they cannot tolerate others? Why is it that they want to continue to impose themselves on the whole of Nigeria? They use the Hausa people for 221 years. Okay, 64 years as a nation state. They hide behind the Hausa people. They behave like the French people. Policy of assimilation. The French people, when they came to colonize Africa, they made the African countries that they colonized look like they were one and the same with France or with the French people. They tell them that they are French people. They opened the doors of Paris to them. All right? But things are changing now. They made them speak very good French, took away their Africanness from them, and made them idiots. So easy to manipulate. That was what the Fulanis did to the Hausa people. Buhari is one of the elites that has continued to promote the subjugation of the Hausa people. I don't know any Hausa man who will be celebrating Buhari. Yes. They told them that they are one and the same in Islam. They even speak the Hausa language. Hey, Sebake, how are you? Thank you. Omo Jole, hey, how are you? Thank you very much, all of you who are joining. Very good. I'm so appreciative of you guys. So, they make them believe that they are one and the same because they are all Muslims. But they rape them. They kill them. They dispossess them of their property. They take everything away from them. They strip them. They hurt them, they exploit them and speak their language and present themselves as they are representatives. So it's like slapping a child and putting a pacifier in his mouth and still telling him, I love you, whereas you don't. That's the story of the Hausa people with the Fulani elites, with ties to Usman Dan Fodio. That nonsense has to be broken. Buhari was at the forefront of it. Buhari commands a lot of respect, commanded before he bowed, a lot of respect among Fulanis in West Africa. They hold their meeting. They want to occupy Nigeria. That is why they are always desperate about becoming president of Nigeria. Every time they are in position, they abuse their offices to advance the cause of their Fulani nationalism. People are so scared of saying this because it's politically incorrect. I am a Nigerian. I'm an aboriginal Nigerian. Aboriginal Nigerian. I have right to say anything that will bring about justice in our country. They are so unfair. That is why you see Atiku. He wants to be president. That's why you see Kwankwaso, by all means, wants to be president. They never lead right. They don't care about the country. That's why you see El-Rufai, that serial liar, dead directly or they are there remotely manipulating whoever they brought in there. They were responsible for putting Bola Ahmed Tinubu on top of us. I think it's turning out to them to be a bad investment right now. That is why they want to remove him by all means and at all costs. Me, I want Bola Ahmed to be removed. I don't think there's any person who wants it removed as much as I do. But it must not be done the Fulani way. If we have to remove Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that's I don't care about him. I don't like him at all because he's a criminal. He's a drug dealer, a certificate forger, and an identity thief. If we want to remove Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I would prefer that we remove him through a Nigerian coalition, not a coalition put together by Fulanis. That is why I am telling everybody who cares to hear me now. I will never, ever. If they like, let them make my senior brother president of Nigeria on their ADC coalition. I will not support him because it's not a good coalition. Yes. It's not a good coalition. It's a bad coalition. They know how to manipulate. Yes. If the person wants to deal with them, you should be ready to die because they will come with everything. So it is time for the people of Nigeria to rise up and put an end to this nonsense. Buhari was part of them. I don't celebrate him and I'm not going to celebrate him. I am not celebrating his death. I am talking about his public life and times. He wasn't a good man. If he were a good man, the whole of Nigeria, some people in Nigeria are celebrating his death. That is how terrible he is. This man has no humanity. He's so inhumane. Thousands of people will die where he is. He won't even look in their direction. so savage, so wicked, so heartless. He doesn't care. Maybe, is that what they call discipline? Is that what they call integrity? I see one young man from my place saying that his heart was heavy. I asked him, how heavy is your heart? Your heart better falls off. A man who destroyed the country's economy. Majority of Nigerian young people have no jobs to do. They reduce this very, very, very dangerous demographic to nothing. Now they have to exist through criminal activities in the absence of nothing constructive to do. Why should I be celebrating a man like that? I can't celebrate him. Yes. So when he came, they overwhelmed the people with violence. Our people were scared. And plus the man that they wanted to remove by all means and at all costs, I'm talking about Jonathan Goodluck. Jonathan Goodluck gave them the blanket check that they needed to remove him from power. Through his failure to perform, he served out 2 years of Yaradua's 4 years. Yaradua, by the way, was a very good man. Yaradua is was a Fulani man. Very sincere guy. Very good-hearted guy. I think he's about the best Fulani that I've ever encountered. Very sincere. He was non-violent. He did not present the country as a Fulani nation. He was just. He did everything to make sure that the country was together. Unfortunately, he was already ill at the time he became president. Yeah, that was the work of Obasanjo. Obasanjo facilitated the death of Yaradua, hospital where they would take care of his problem and then he come back and be president of Nigeria. Yes, I don't know what Obasanjo did. They brought him. He was ill already. But for the period of time he was president, the 2 years, and then before, 1.5 years that he was, before he went down seriously, he made some very strategic decisions that helped advance the cause of Nigeria. This was the man who came out to say that, yes, the election that brought him to power was not clean. I don't know how many Nigerian presidents will say that, how many Nigerians will even say that. As corrupt as we are very corrupt people now. Very, very, very corrupt. Nigerians, we are very corrupt. Let's go and work on ourselves. We can't build a country the way we behave. We can't build a country with our selfishness. We can't build a country with our greed. We can't build any serious country with tribalism. We can't build a country with religious nationalism. We can't build a country with nepotism. We can't build a country with mischief, bigotry, jealousy, and hypocrisy. And we have all this haunting us as Nigerians. Don't you see? When you come to America, don't you see how America functions? Yes. When you go to United Arab Emirates, don't you see how it works? When you go, a lot of Nigerians are going to Canada now. That Canada you are going to, don't you see how Canada works? It is working because the citizens there love their country. Nigerians don't love their country. Nigerians think that their country will just wake up and transform without them playing a role. A lot of Nigerians don't even care about what is happening in Nigeria. They don't care. They live inside our country. The country is dying. They don't think they have a responsibility. They don't think that they should do anything to change anything. No. They think that God is going to come down and do it for them. Or there are some people that God appointed to do it. That was how these people took over our country. They studied our psyche. You know, our country, and by extension, Africa, runs the risk of a second colonization. Hear that again now because of our attitude. We are very unpatriotic. We don't care. We are lackadaisical. We are greedy. We are selfish. When a people are selfish, their country suffers. And this is the reason Nigeria is suffering. Nigerians are so selfish. Nigerians are so selfish. Nigerians are so greedy. Nigerians are so divisive. Nigerians are so self-hating. Nigerians will see a good person who can turn things around for them. They will go and align with a criminal who will give them a pittance, and then they allow him to do whatever he wants. That is why the best is not leading Nigeria. Can you imagine a country 64 years after, they are still rotating presidency between North and South? Instead of serializing abilities, competency, knowledge, courage to do good things, yes, and the exceptional content and strength of character required to build, utilize, expand, extend, and sustain capacity beyond self for the good of everybody and the good of the country in a manner that is recurrent from generation to generation. Yes, Nigerian they will tell you, see the education, you see the educated Nigerians, the ones who call themselves educated, they are illiterates mostly. They can't think. Common sense is lacking now in Nigeria. Common sense is so expensive right now in Nigeria. That is why we have idiots ruling Nigeria. That is why we don't have the best of legislators. That is why we don't have the best of governors. That is why we never had the best of presidents. Zonal leadership. We don't care anymore about excellence. Excellence delivered by those who truly love the country. That was how Buhari became president of Nigeria. North and South, in a country that is supposed to be one. These people, and they call themselves Northern leaders. They call themselves Northerners. They call themselves Northern religious leaders. They call themselves Northern traditional rulers. And you know, if you take a look at them, critical look, majority of the people doing this are the minority Fulanis in Nigeria that have, for some strange reason, seized the country. And get me right, I am not saying that it's all Fulanis. Minority Fulanis. Minority elitist gang of Fulanis who are driven by the quest of a Fulani nationalism. They are the biggest thieves in Nigeria. Every opportunity they have, they steal the country blind. They were the ones behind Buhari. They were the ones, if he had any modicum of integrity, they were the ones responsible for wiping it out. If he had any modicum of morality, they were the reason it was compromised. Yes. You hear that? So we allowed him to become president. I even campaigned for him because of my anger with Jonathan. Jonathan Goodluck came to Houston about 2 or 3 times. We told him what he should do to put Nigeria on a course to nationhood and greatness. He went back to Nigeria and started doing things the other way because he was greedy of seeking a second term. This was a man who had already served 6 years. One wonders what he wanted. The 6 years he served, he did absolutely nothing with it. Beyond smiling and opening the vault of the country to beasts to wallop, yes, including his Fulani National Security Advisor. I don't know what he thought he was doing. They destroyed the country's economy. Yet they told him to remove a man who had mapped out the country for a scientific census. I am talking about Dr. Festus Odomegu. I will never stop talking about that man. That man wanted to count Nigeria for strategic national planning, including crime control. And this is in our inability, our failure to do that is responsible for why we are not able to fight terrorism and all kinds of violent criminal acts taking place in Nigeria. They told him, they came, those criminals who called themselves, mostly Fulanis, who called themselves Northern elders. They came. He didn't know that they were working for Muhammadu Buhari to come. They told him, fire Festus Odomegu, because they were scared of him. Because of what they do. These are people who go to Niger, go to Chad, go to Mauritania, go to Mali to import Fulanis inside Nigeria, give them Nigeria IDs, and then make them Nigerians, make them vote in Nigerian elections, make them be counted as Nigerians. That is how they have the bogus northern population that cannot be supported by biology. I am a reproductive biologist. I studied biology, and I studied genetics. So at least, even if at a basic level, it is a simple common sense thing. Yes. And that is why we have not been able to pin down the population, the actual population of Nigeria, beyond the United Nations estimation that we are this. I can tell you point blank that if Nigerians are truly counted, the population of Nigeria is over 250 million people. But because of politicization, yes. Why are we politicizing? Who cares which ethnic group is? Am I not living in the United States? I've never seen any time where there's any contest about who is more in number and how it benefits them because they are the biggest ethnic group in the United States. I've never seen it. And when censuses are conducted here, heads of family, they send you a form to fill out. You fill it out. Now they have made it easy, sir. You can even do it online now. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, you will see when the election census time is here, they will bombard you with that. One way or the other, you have to fill it out and send them. You can't rig it. You rig it, they know. They know. So, but in Nigeria, what do? We fight. We politicize census figure. Kano, I hear Kano. Kano now is bigger than Lagos in population. Yes, it's politics of everything. Who benefits from that? These criminals. They put the country's budget in their pockets. Yes. Yes. Cecile, thank you very much. Nigeria too rich in resources to be poor. Absolutely. We have no reason. No, we are with Traore. We are with Traore. Omakarita, thank you very much for joining. Again, sorry, I was angry right from the beginning. Really angry from the beginning. Now, if you are joining us for the very first time, let me take it slow a little bit. If you are joining us for the very first time, I welcome you with my whole heart to the ONN YouTube channel, our channel 1 on ONN. If you came here, you discovered us somehow, or you were referred here, we appreciate your presence. Please do us a favor by subscribing to our channel, because we will always want to see you back. And above all, we love you. And I want to tell you what we represent is for global peace, global justice, global security, and prosperity and stability. We fight injustice, not just only in Nigeria, across Africa and around the world. Just tell us, we will talk about it. And if it requires us taking action, we will join you in action. Cecile Nelson, I'm an American civil rights leader. My wife works for TV network. Well, oh my God, I will appreciate connecting to your wife so that we can, expand our message. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you, Sila Nelson. Thank you very much. And I don't know if you can check through what you are watching right now. You will see at the sun level, you see our email address. You can drop us email. But if you want to call, the number to reach us is 713 281 5431. Once again, the number is 713 281 5435. That's a Texas number. I am broadcasting from Houston, Texas. So if you live in America, then you are living in the same place with me. So I will appreciate to hear from you. You can send me a text. You can call me. Just introduce yourself so that we can start a relationship from there. I really appreciate you. Oh, really? Wow. Well, here I am, man. So I'll be more than happy to be a guest at any of your shows. Thank you, and I'm so much appreciative of you coming out with this very strategic information. God bless you. And I hope, yes, okay, the number again is 713 281 7435. Let me repeat again. 713 281 5435. 713 281 5435. Did you get it? If you got it and you want me to repeat it again, I'll go ahead and repeat it again. Yes, so thank you very much, all of you who took time to join us in this live broadcast. Yeah, because I was not feeling very happy, I forgot to do all the basic things that I usually do when I come on here. So it's never late. So I'm going to do it. So we welcome our new subscribers or new visitors. If you are visiting for the very first time, please don't leave without subscribing and hitting that notification button so that whenever we are here, you'll be one of those to be first alerted. And we need support too to expand our message. We do a lot of things in Nigeria and Africa, and we're expanding our mission to everywhere on earth. So you can send us your support through super thanks of any amount that you can afford. We'll appreciate it. So we'll be able to continue to be on air and create more awareness, content that will uplift and enlighten the people of the world. We learn too from your contributions. Don't come here, and if you do have any questions about anything that we are talking about, please feel free to ask any of those questions. We'll gladly answer you. We have moderators that help us, bring out the questions that are very strategic that we must answer. All right. So we appreciate each and every one of you. So what we have been talking about is a man who led Nigeria for. He had the opportunity. I don't know how many people have that opportunity to lead Nigeria for as long. First of all, 3 years as a military head of state. Then he came back. 2 times civilian president, 8 years. Yes, and yet he couldn't do a thing. Yet he could not do a damn thing for the country. Now he died in London. He died in a London hospital. He couldn't build a standard hospital in Nigeria. Nigerians, I'm sure you know Nigerians everywhere. You know Nigerians in the United Kingdom. You know a lot of Nigerians here. They are some of the best doctors. They are some of the Okay. All right. The number again is 713 281 5435. Once again, 713 281 5435. Thank you very much, Sila. Really appreciate. Sincerely and very deeply appreciated. Thank you very much. So, this man died in a London hospital. So tell me any UK president that has died in Africa, in an African hospital. African leaders are stupid for the most part of it. That is why we wanted the younger people like Ibrahim Traore to take over the country, the African continent, all the countries there. The leaders we have are stupid for the most part. Very stupid and very corrupt. Yes. They hate themselves. They hate their people. They only come to steal, kill, and destroy. He went and died in a UK hospital. He built nothing in Nigeria. He built nothing in Nigeria. You can imagine how much it cost Nigeria to have him in that hospital for the amount of time that he was there. Definitely, it wasn't his family that paid for it. I'm sure they stayed in a hotel, boosted the economy of London, right? While our people, majority of the people, 90% of Nigerians live below poverty line. As I speak to you today, millions of Nigerians will go to bed on empty stomach. I've heard stories. I am broke all the time. I am very broke. I am telling you, I make money here. But I spend a lot of money supporting people in Nigeria. Some I don't even know. Some I will never ever meet. They don't have food to eat. As rich as Nigeria is. Yeah, Sila Nelson, my brother. Yes, as rich Nigeria is. Rich in everything. Rich in mineral resources. Rich in natural resources. Millions of Nigerians are sleeping right now on empty stomach. I am broke all the time because of helping able-bodied men and women in Nigeria. Not because they cannot work, but there is no access to them to do the work. A lot of them went to school, they graduated into nothing. So that is why when you hear Nigerians are doing this and doing that, don't be too judgmental. The terrible situation at home drives them so crazy. I don't hold brief for criminals. They should be punished. But the situation in Nigeria is so dire. And one of the reasons it's dire is because of men like this. So hateful, so nepotistic, so tribalistic. He doesn't care about the people. He cares only about his Fulani people. And the Fulani people, the elites among the Fulanis, are the trouble of Nigeria. That is why the people of Nigeria must stand up and disempower them and never allow them access to the apex of the country's leadership. Because they don't change. They don't believe in Nigeria. They have a long-term mission. And the mission started a long time ago. As we speak, Nigeria has been surrounded. Who knows what is going to happen? Yes, you hear Boko Haram, you hear Fulani headsmen. All arrows pointing at ordinary, everyday Nigerian. Communities have been wiped out and taken over, occupied by them. And once they occupy a place, nobody pulls them out because of the way Nigeria is structured, because of the way the Nigerian armed forces is structured. They have hijacked our armed forces. It's going to take a lot to rebuild the army of Nigeria. The Nigerian army is not the army of the Nigerian people anymore. The army's command and control infrastructure are in their hands. They work violently to hold the people in captivity. This is what they have been doing. Buhari made it worse when he started recruiting terrorists and bandits into the Nigerian armed forces. Yes, we have a problem in our hands in Nigeria. But we will not hands up. We are not going to give up on Nigeria. That's why we are calling on Nigerians right now. You have a right to self-defense. Where the army is not working for you, your right to self-defense is a universal doctrine. It's a biological doctrine. It's a moral doctrine approved by the Almighty God. You have to fight because God gave us a basic set of rights, basic human rights, the right to our lives, the right to our choices, the right to freedom of expression, the right to freedom of association, the right to worshiping God how we want it, and the right to self-determination. All these rights are interrelated. You take one, you take all. So they have been abusing our rights. Nigerians, you must stand up now. One of them, Buhari, gone. What are you going to do as they are talking about 2027? I don't want a political 2027. I want something now that will happen, that will change the status of Nigeria, that Nigerians will now see themselves as citizens and not as people from tribes. Yes, you see, we don't have that type of citizenship that other countries have. Everybody is talking about his tribe. Everybody is talking about his religion. Everybody is talking about his region. It's crazy. It's sad. Yes, people don't understand that. Yes, what is religion? Religion is what? An advanced politics. If you know spirituality, the relationship between you and God is what? It's a private business. It's not a national business. Buhari has died now. Buhari did not die for the Fulani people. On the day of judgment, as God is going to judge him, God is going to call him Muhammadu Buhari. What did you do with the life I gave you on earth? He's not going to judge the whole of Fulanis. He's going to judge Muhammadu Buhari. So why are we fighting here? Yes. Thank you, Father. He said Nigeria is one of the worst countries to be in. Well, the country Nigeria does not have a problem. The problem Nigeria has is the people. The problem Nigeria has is the people. The problem Nigeria has is the leaders. The problem Nigeria has is the unconscious people of Nigeria. The people of Nigeria who will put up with all kinds of nonsense. The people of Nigeria who will tell you that, you see, there are so many gods to worship in Nigeria. You are worshiping traditional ruler. You are worshiping people like Muhammadu Buhari. Nigerians worship money too much. Because of their worship for money, they forget about their rights. Yes. Now, yes, Nelson, thank you. He said Nigerians will open their eyes. Yes, we must find the Nigerian armed families and start talking to them to help us open their children in the army, to open their eyes and mind. Nigeria is a very good country. I agree with you. It's the people. The people of Nigeria are the problem. The people of Nigeria take a lot of bullshit and go to sleep with it. And because these people know that they will do anything and the people of Nigeria will adjust, that is why they get worse. Every opportunity they have, they get worse with it. Back to the story of Buhari. He wasted 4 years doing absolutely nothing. No, the first time he came, he spent 6 months with no cabinet minister. He spent 6 months running the country as a sole administrator. No minister. And people were clapping for him that he was saving money. He was destroying the economy. Then after that, he spent nearly a year in a London hospital. This is a London hospital. Absentee president. He was not there. Then he managed to come back, and before you know it, it was another election cycle, 2019. I left here and went to Nigeria to run for Senate. That same year, he was running for re-election. I was in the same party with him. I had to leave that party, terrorist party. In Nigeria, we're in that party. They call APC, All Progressive Congress. There's nothing progressive about them. It was a terrorist organization operating as a political party in Nigeria. So when I saw what they were doing, I could not put up with it. I left the party and ran my race on another platform. They were calling me Americana. And they stopped me. They stood in the way for me coming into the Nigerian Senate. Because they knew that if I came into the Senate of Nigeria, things will happen. They stopped me. They stopped me. And as if they preempted what I was going to do. They stopped me. I spent a lot of my money. My money, I didn't have Godfather. And I did not want to buy votes. Vote buying and selling. The people have been so corrupted because of hunger and poverty. They would prefer to sell their votes to a devil than to sell it to a good man who will help their country grow and develop. That is the odyssey of Nigeria. That's why I'm telling you, the problem of Nigeria is the Nigerian people. So I'm hoping that they are hearing me, especially the young Nigerians. They have been sold to corruption. The young Nigerians have been sold into corruption. And it hurts me as a man who loves his country. It hurts. A young Nigerian of this day is much more interested in money than anything. But they won't stop crying. They are the ones, after making all the blunder, they will still come back and be calling me to give them money. Help me. I have not eaten since the past 3 days. My family is, I have school fees to pay. I don't have money to pay. But it looks like I'm going to have to draw a line. These people need to wake up. Because whenever it happens, they look to the people in diaspora. And we have been preaching to them on the need for them to stand up. They don't listen. They don't hear. Yes, when the likes of Buhari will come, the likes of Bola Ahmed Tinubu will come, they will sell their votes to them and then tell me that I don't have money because I am principled and I refuse to buy votes to serve my people. Why should I pay you to serve you? But they don't understand that. Even, he said, thank you, Father. He said, even the police are doing desperate things. Absolutely. It's a mess. No sector of Nigeria is spared of the evil of Nigeria. No part of Nigeria is spared. The problem of Nigeria, yes. Yeah, Masa Kesi. Well, I don't know what drove you to say that. Maybe you may have to enlighten me so that I can respond to you. If speaking the truth to my country makes me a problem, then I will accept that that is a good problem. But if it is otherwise, you may have to check your brain to find out why you asked me that stupid question. All right? Yes. So, back to Buhari. He spent nearly a whole time in the hospital. Then they came back. Vote this man out. Nigerians allowed him. They found a way to rig him back into power. So the last 4 years, he was angry and destroyed everything. And then handed over to a drug dealer, the one that is holding the country hostage now. It was an arrangement for him to continue their legacy of stripping Nigeria. They put a drug dealer who was prosecuted here successfully in the United States, Gary, Indiana. Then he was living in Illinois. I'm talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes. So, what happened? They elected him by their own design. The people of Nigeria did not vote for him. a certificate forger, an identity thief, a drug dealer in the United States. Before he left here, he made a deal with America. He paid America nearly 500,000 US dollars before they allowed him, instead of jailing him. I don't know why they allowed him go, instead of putting him in a cage here. They allowed him go. And then he went to Nigeria to become a bigger problem. He became a senator in Nigeria. After that, he became a two-term governor of the richest state in Nigeria, Lagos State. During this period, he put the economy of Lagos State in his pocket. As we speak, he owns more than half of serious capital, the capital base of Lagos is in his hands. So with so much money amassed, he decided to extend his reach beyond Lagos to buy his way as the president of Nigeria. Compromise all of the country's strategic institutions, including the armed forces, the court system, the traditional institution, the drivers of the private sector, the union leaders in Nigeria, student unions. So they crippled Nigeria and emasculated the people and then brought him to power. For the period that he has been in power, Nigeria has kept going down. And now the people who helped him come to power by all means and at all costs. They want him out. I'm talking about the people like from Buhari and his people, the minority Fulani elites that has for a very long time thought that they own Nigeria, though erroneously, because the people of Nigeria have been sleeping. They believe that they alone can take him out. But we are telling them that no. Nigeria is the property of all of us. And you are a minority in that all of us. If we have to remove Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it has to be a pan-Nigerian idea and not yours. That is where I differ with them. So they tell you about the North is organizing to remove Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All right? And not Nigeria. Because they always act with that zonal mentality in their heads. Because they don't believe in Nigeria. They created this fake nationalism in the North and sold it to the people who are now becoming more conscious that they have been lying to them. So when they talk about the North now, they are on their own. It's only the Fulani elites that are talking about the North. But I don't believe that the rest of the North believe in their bullshit anymore. So we see how it goes. So that is why I am not, and I will not, be a party of their ADC. All the masterminds of terrorism who were in APC are now gravitating towards the ADC. And those, they've already started claiming that they are responsible for the coalition. The mere mention of that is a turn off for any sane Nigerian who has common sense. And they should know that this is another APC in the making. This is where we are. Buhari left office, handed over to a criminal. The criminal is taking his turn to destroy our country. This is where we are. Buhari was a total failure on all fronts. As a military man, as a military leader, he was a disaster. As a civilian leader, he was savage, divisive, and wicked, and inhuman, and insincere, savage, and morally bankrupt. He was most insensitive and most inept. We will not miss him as a Nigerian leader. He brought hell upon the country of Nigeria. Any person who misses him, maybe perhaps the few Fulani elites that he made, and those that they can mislead in the name of a religion, those are the ones. I don't think the Hausa people will miss him. I don't think the Benue people will miss him. I don't think the Plateau people will miss him. I don't miss him. And I don't think any sane person from my part of Nigeria will miss him. The Niger Delta will not miss him at all because of what he did. The Igbo man will not miss him. So who misses him is ignorant people and those that benefited from the fraud that he represented. Yes, with this we come to a close of this. If there's anybody who will be able to forgive him, is the God Almighty that will forgive him, because his sins against Nigeria is too much. Many souls were wasted because of him. I am not talking about 1, 2, 3, 4. I am talking about millions due to his terrible policies and due to his direct wickedness. Millions died because of this man. Yes, millions died because of this man. Yes, millions were displaced because of this man and his evil policies. He was not in charge, and he could not throw in the towel. This man who openly confessed to Christina Amanpour that $2.5 billion made available to fight insurgency in Nigeria vanished, and he could not hold those who stole the money accountable. Yes, man, that is funny, interesting. And this was the man who said, one of the things, his mantra, those who praise him, say he was a fighter of corruption. His anti-corruption war. Corruption was worse under his nose, and he did absolutely nothing to curb it. Why should anybody celebrate Muhammadu Buhari? So my friends, fans, listeners from Nigeria, across Africa and around the world, this is Smart Madu Ajaja, give you a rundown on Muhammadu Buhari, his public life and times. I'm not interested in his privacy or whatever he did as a private man. That is his business. But do we pray for him? God Almighty, Buhari is in your hands today. Do justice as the Almighty God. If you decide to forgive him, forgive him. But bring succor to the people of Nigeria. Please, Father Almighty, do not allow Nigeria to fall in the hands of another wicked leader like Muhammadu Buhari. I don't know any reason any person is going to use to justify Buhari as head of state of Nigeria. For me personally, and those that I know, millions of them, majority in number, Buhari represented evil. He represented darkness. He represented pains. He represented death. Yes. So, God Almighty, please do not allow us see another Buhari. Not anymore in the history of our country. We are praying to you for an open Nigeria. A Nigeria that will have free, fair, equal, unlimited, and unconditional access to opportunity to every Nigerian to grow and develop and progress and prosper according to his or her abilities and level of competency in a non-threatening environment that will foster unity and national security for Nigeria forever and ever. Amen. Thank you very much for joining. So before I leave, let me call on all of you. I just don't know how to thank you. Please, those who have not subscribed, please do us a favor. Let it be this gift of the beginning of the week for us. Hit that subscription button and the notification button. That will gladden our hearts so much. And it will make us continue the trajectory of our growth as an organic global movement that we represent. We'll appreciate you. And all those that are not able to call out one by one that commented, there's a lot of you here. Please ensure that, let me see how many I can read that. Nigeria or too rich in the sources. Okay, that's my brother. Let me see. Let me pick up a few. Yes. Yes, we need to buy Nigerian minerals and products in America. Make profit here and send money to responsible Nigerians to build their country. Great. We are open to fair trade, that will have, respect us and, make us feel like we are human beings. We are up for that. And that is what we have always been asking. We don't need aid. We need trade. That will help us a lot. So if you love what we are doing, share our message, make our platform, our channel popular by sharing with your friends, and then comment and do whatever you do so that YouTube will continue to recommend us for more people like you. And I saw a lot of new faces that I've never seen before. I want to specifically thank all of you and our returning members and subscribers. We love you as always for always being supportive of our work. And to help us grow, if you feel like you want to donate anything to us in terms of send us super thanks, please do. Because we spend some time, preparing all these messages and then do some distribution and help a lot of people in need in Nigeria. And then across Africa, we are going to expand our mission to everywhere on earth where help is needed. We love you and look forward to seeing you in our next stream. Bye for now.